Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bazaar Overexplained, and I am the Bazaar Whisper here, playing some Dooley for you here today. Now we have the core and the critical core here. I don't really love the core, and the critical core does give a good amount of crit chance here. That being said, the core also just does 30 damage, and charging our items to the right, I think we could make something interesting with this build here. And let's look at gold tier skills, enchanted items, income. Dooley doesn't have a lot of income options, so getting gold and income would be pretty wise here. Also getting an enchanted item, anything could really synergize with our core because it's going to be charging some items, so I think there's a consideration for that. And then there's also getting a gold tier skill here, which could help us out in the early game. Dooley's pretty good in the early game, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the income here. Now we could get some regeneration, could get even better regeneration, jungle ruins, or look for an item. I think regeneration is good, but why not look for an item here and see if we can make our board a little better. And okay, here's some pretty interesting items, I'd say. I feel like if we were to take the Satcom, we'd also want to take the Monitor Lizard, because if we're getting friends, we'd want to be in a friend build, and Monitor Lizard, that's where they shine. I also want to take the Alpha Ray, because I think that just synergizes with our core pretty well. But it is a lot weaker now, and especially at bronze, it's not super important. I think what I'm going to do here is take the Satcom and take the Monitor Lizard. And additionally, I think we could even put the Monitor Lizard in, and we could haste the friend to the right of this, so it'll haste the Monitor Lizard. We'll get +1 poison, so that's not too good, I suppose. Yeah, maybe the core is just better here. Something like this doesn't seem bad. I could go to the Fanged Inglet, Haunted Kimono, and the Viper. I guess the Viper we beat in 12 seconds, at the very least. Yeah, this seems like a decent way to do it. Let's go to the Viper. Now, if you're not familiar with these videos in this series, this is where I over-explain all the plays that I go over and with different characters and try and help you understand a little bit better about how to play the Bazaar. And while doing so, I have a whole host of videos for all the different characters here, and I have pretty much enjoyed everyone in this new patch and excited to put some more time into Dooley. I think Dooley has some pretty strong builds right now that hopefully we'll get to show off today with the Freinds synergy. That being said, a lot of the friends are in the small items category here that I would want to find to synergize with the Monitor Lizard. If we do take this tiny furry monster, we could get the ability to gain 1 XP, which will mean we'll be guaranteed to level up in the next day, and I'll show you how that works. I think that I like that a little bit better. So let's go ahead and take this and plan for the long game here by getting 1 experience. Now, I would like to make a better board essentially, but I think going to Fins and getting some regeneration right now is not a terrible idea. So why don't we do that? This regeneration could win us the fight alone, and we'll add some poison to our Monitor Lizard. I'll even try and charge it up a little bit faster. I think this amount of poison is starting to get to the territory. We could be pretty scary here on day 1. But let's fight this mech. Let's see what they got. Okay, they have a dagger. They have potion. Not really worried about this Thurible, although 1 regeneration is certainly nothing to scoff at. I think what might be scariest here, well, I guess the sleeping potion, fire potion, not too bad. Our regeneration will heal us up through that. I'd be afraid of this Thurible crit on its regeneration and gave the Mac a little bit more survivability, but doesn't look like that's what's going to happen here, and we're just going to poison right through. Very nice. Okay, good victory on day 1 here. Our board certainly wasn't that strong, so being able to win feels pretty good. And now we've leveled up. These are all pretty decent skills. I think having more poison on our monitor lizard is not a bad idea. However, it's going to naturally gain more poison, so there's a world where we don't necessarily need that. All that said, getting right-handed, 20 more damage on the core is not bad either. I think I'm going to get the final dose here and try and again look to see if we can beef up this monitor lizard as much as possible. Here's the option to get the tiny furry monster again, but because we got it on day 1, we don't necessarily need to get it today, and let me show you why. So every single day we're going to be getting 1 experience, so that's 5 XP for the day total. We need 8 to level up, and I'm pretty confident that we could defeat the highest tiered monster here on day 2, which is always the Rogue Scrapper, if I remember correctly. And while doing so, that'll give us the 3 XP we need to get to 8. So I don't need to take this tiny furry monster. I do like the maximum HP here, and let's see, we got a mantis shrimp from our satcom. Okay, not bad. I would like to, I think, get some better friends here, although getting the 40 XP is just free value. But let's look to see if we can get some small friends. Alright, first Aiden, pretty good small friend to have. It hastes, which is very good with our monitor lizard. And I am willing to reroll here to see if we could get some more friends. Alright, here is Black Spider. There's also Hamlet, which unfortunately has the charge clause instead of the haste clause, which would have been better for a monitor lizard. This says when you haste, this gains +1 poison, so it doesn't have to receive haste, it's just when you haste in general. But I will take the Black Spider. Okay. First shop here. And Mandala, do I want to transform anything? Could transform the Mantis Shrimp and turn into another bronze item, but I think that's okay. Getting the medkit here on first Aiden could be good too, but I think I'm willing to look at a weapon and see maybe if we can get a weapon friend. Alright, I won't be taking the power drill here. Power drill is just a very strong item on Dooley in general. Let's reroll. And there's Chris Army Knife, my friend. Chris Army Knife and Pulse Rifle are match made in heaven in their own right, but I think I'm willing to move past that. Let's see, I think our board could be even stronger if we did something like this, because first Aiden's going to haste, and the SATCOM is going to haste as well. Yeah, I think this makes sense. And yeah, I like the Chris Army Knife on board better than the Black Spider. With all this said, I'm pretty sure we can defeat the Rogue Scrapper. Between the regeneration and the healing from first Aiden, I'm not really worried about their damage, and we can calculate how much health that the Rogue Scrapper has in their maximum amount of health. They only have 2 charges on this Cure Nolo, so that's 60 shield, plus the 450 health that they have, so that's 510. So I feel like we're in a pretty good spot to go through their life total. Additionally, our monitor lizard is poisoning right through their shields, so I'm going to be stacking that on pretty well. And you know, here's what I'm going to ask you second time, folk. The people who are watching my series of videos for the second time, you could leave a like, it'd be greatly appreciated, but it's the third time viewers, the people who are returning for the 3rd time. If you like this, why not subscribe? I don't know why you wouldn't. I think it'd be a great idea. It would look great on you. And you know what would look great on you? Maybe a medkit too, but we have that. You can put that on the first Aiden. And let's see here. We can go to the Jungle Ruins, get some regeneration, get some more gold. We are going to be expanding our board, and I would like to find something to go along with our Black Spider. The SATCOM is okay, but not adding too much outside of pumping up our monitor lizard. So yeah, let's go to Kina and look at some non-weapon items. I don't really want thrusters or granola at this point. There is an argument for Thermal Lance. It says when this gains haste, it gains 5 burn. We don't have anything to facilitate that, but I think I'm willing to reroll here, and I shall do so. Okay, Silver Pylon. When you slow haste one item for 1 second. That could be good with our Black Spider. That being said, it is a lot of money to try and pick up right now. Yeah, I don't think I really want this, although a 4-second cooldown item, if it itself hasted, I guess it does. That's a good point, it does. And then I could maybe take Chris off the board. Yeah, that's decent. Okay, I'm talking myself into it. And how would I facilitate getting there? I could sell my power drill, which I don't really like. Maybe I sell these 2 items. I think that's what we'll do. We'll sell those off, get the pylon, and keep moving forward. Now, I did spend a lot of gold there, and I'm kind of hoping we see some nice free option here. I think a strange mushroom certainly can fit the bill. Can get some gold from them, which wouldn't be bad. Could also get a neutral item, but I'm just gonna go ahead and sell this and get 4 gold. I think that's not a bad exchange. And alright, so we level up here. I could take the bronze loot and hopefully get maybe like something to upgrade my poison or cooldown reduction, but 6 gold this early on may make all the difference when we're trying to reroll shops and such, so I'll stick with that. And okay, do we want to put the black spider on board? I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I think this is decent. It's not very strong, but we will be stacking up our monitor lizard pretty well. If I didn't have that gold med kit to put on first aid in, I might try and switch up the board a little bit, but all things considered here, I think we can put on a decent amount of slow. Oh man, our opponent looks to be doing what we're doing very similarly, but maybe a little less haste. Freeze was a bummer. Yeah, so they have a turbo black spider, so whenever it goes off, it hastes 1 item for 3 seconds. And 3 seconds is a lot, I will say. Also, they have GPU, which is hasting the core, which is a nice little synergy. Now, one thing to note about poison is it goes off every second, and so does regeneration. So it's kind of like they have -5 poison on us right now. And that definitely made a difference, but also this first aid in is what really allowed us to win that fight too. But yeah, dealing 35 poison, pretty nice. Okay, let's move on. Okay, day 3 here. There's an argument to go to the Artisan Dunes. We could put more poison on our monitor lizard. That being said, I think I like going to Curio here. And do I want to scrap? I don't think I do. Let's see what a SATCOM gave us. Oh wow, interesting. It gave us Calico. Okay, kind of cool. I don't know if we'll be using that, but let's go to Curio here. Okay, so we see this makeshift barricade. It says, when you sell this, your leftmost slow item gains +1 slow. Now I want to see if when we upgrade the pylon, if it slows 1 item or 2 items. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up bazaar.gg. I'm going to go to items and search for the pylon. So unfortunately, when we level up pylon, it's still going to slow 1 item, and it's going to slow it for 2 seconds. I want to see the black spider. Is it spelled with an A? I don't think so. Let's see. I think is it spelled in elite speak? Oh no, it's BLK. Okay, fair enough. Let's look for that spider. So black spider slows multiple items when it levels up for that amount of seconds. So I think it's more worthwhile to put this slow buff on the black spider because of that. So I will take this makeshift barricade. I also will take the clockwork blades. Now, do I want to reroll? 4 gold is a lot to be utilizing right now, especially for Curio, because we're going to be buying and selling so many different things that I'm not sure that that's worth it. Getting another upgrade to our slow could be good, but I'm kind of willing to say that we got what we wanted to see and keep moving forward here. Okay, we could get a haste item, which would be a pretty good monitor lizard. There's also Sylvia. I would like to see a haste item. It's Bomb Squad. That's actually pretty nice for what we're doing. So I want to make sure this is getting the buff. Now it slows 2 seconds. Very cool. Let's take this Bomb Squad. So Bomb Squad is nice for us because it says when you use an adjacent friend, haste this for 1 second. That, again, our monitor lizard is going to see that. So I think that could be very good for us. And how do we want to facilitate this? So maybe we can take the SATCOM off. Put these on board. Yeah, I like this. And we are getting some charging. Not a lot from the black spider, but it is going to be hasting. And I will definitely give one cooldown reduction to our board. That could make all the difference in a fight, especially this early on. And now, do we defeat the Scout Trooper? The Scout Trooper does a lot of damage, and we don't have a lot of health. Especially if we're doing poison damage, I'm a little afraid we don't defeat them. So I'm going to go to the Rogue Scrapper here. Fighting the Rogue Scrapper at this point will still allow us to level up because, as we saw, we could defeat them before, so we can certainly defeat them now. We'll gain 3 XP and then have the next 2 days fill out our experience. I am interested to see just how much poisoning we are putting on them. I think our board right now is a little bit weak for where it could be. And really right now we're kind of wanting to find things like DJ Robot and then the other bug friends that synergize with Black Spider. This would be the ideal pickups. This pylon is just kind of here to enable Monitor Lizard. It's probably not something that we're going to keep around forever. And hey, another gold medkit. That's pretty nice. Okay. So we have a lot of bronze items we could sell to Volpack. And they could have anything for us. I also really like getting chocolate bars too. So I'm willing to sell this. And if I was going to go to chocolate bars, I would need to make some space in my backpack. I don't think I really have a lot I want to sell outside of this calico to do so. I'd like to keep the SATCOM around. I think it might just be going right back on our board. Could also put the power drill on there, so there's an argument for both. I could also just miss one of the chocolate bars, but I don't love that idea. Volpack. Yeah, I guess let's just go to Volpack and see if we can find an upgrade for our board. Well, this is pretty interesting. Pylon upgrade. I think I will take it. Again, not super powerful, but it is a means of hasting, and hasting for 2 seconds is certainly better than 1 second, so we'll keep with that. And yeah, I don't want to reroll. I don't want to spend 4 gold just to look at new items. And B1, B2, I think that is exactly what we want. So B1, B2, there's a lot of good targets. There's Black Spider, which is going to proc even more haste. Monitor Lizard itself, which is then going to stack our poison even more. I think that's what we want, and I believe we're going to get another ability to level up once we hit 4 and upgrade an item. The other thing here, we could upgrade a SATCOM, which would start giving us silver tier friends, which I think is pretty good. But let's upgrade the Monitor Lizard. So now, every time we haste, it's going to get +2 poison. And I would like to upgrade this Black Spider. Slowing 2 items for 2 seconds, I think will be very good for us. And okay, now that we have all of this, putting in the power drill makes sense to me. And alright, let's fight this other Dooley. I really love this Dooley skin that looks like a Mac. No, I love the little cosplay from our Dooley opponent here. Alright, and they're doing something very similar to us, but we're putting on more slow. That being said, they do have a bigger drill than we do. I think it's really going to come down to maybe this first Aiden. It's pretty close here. Oh man. They live with 2 HP and their power drill just went off one more time. That is also kind of the downside of something like poison damage, where it ticks very slowly compared to fire damage or regular damage. But that's okay. Okay, nice. We got Blue Beetle. So, starting to get more bugs here. There is a real temptation for me to change this pylon into something else through Mandala, but I think that's a little reckless. Let's just go to Andy and see if we can find more Freinds upgrades, and we definitely do. Bomb Squad. We'll definitely take the first Aiden. I don't know that I really want to be playing Bomb Squad, but I guess for just 2 gold as an upgrade to this, that makes enough sense for me. I could be spending 2 gold on way worse things, so this is fine with me. And oh wow, okay, very nice. So we get the green wasp and we get the yellow mantis. This means that I think we can maybe do something. Could start putting them on the board. And so green wasp wants to be next to black spider, and green wasp wants to be next to blue beetle. And then, yeah, I think we can take off this bomb squad. And then yellow mantis wants to be adjacent to a burn item. Be something like this. And then we put Aiden on board. And yellow mantis, again, cares about burn. This cares about poison and burn. Okay, so we're missing the burn bug. But first Aiden's not a bad one to have. And is there anyone that really wants to be... No. I was going to say, is there anyone who wants to be next to Aiden? But it is a burn bug that would want to be doing that. So, again, we'd like this bomb squad to be something different, but this is okay for right now. And we're not going to be hasting nearly as much as we were before, now that I think about it, because we took this pylon off. Maybe because of that, we want to do something like this. Our power drill is good. Maybe our green wasp is not better than the power drill right now. Yeah, that's a tough decision. It's pretty tricky. Let's look at what options are in front of us before we break our brains here. So we could look at some more medium items. Maybe that would upgrade to our SATCOM. And I wouldn't be able to really afford a monitor lizard. We could work at the docks. We could get some regeneration. Kind of like taking the regen here. But no, let's go to the docks and try and get some more income. So do we want a weapon, tool, or shield? I think there's tools that haste that could be good for us. Herbal's not one of them, but that's okay. And, you know, it's interesting. These items don't necessarily care about the friend tag. They say when an adjacent item does this. So we could put the Thurible in place of the bomb squad. However, the bomb squad itself cares about the friends tag. So just taking a quick inventory of our items here. What is hasting? So this is hasting. This is hasting. The bomb squad's going to charge these 2 to haste. I guess the green wasp itself is contributing to the black spider going off. First Aiden's doing that. And pylon is hasting as well. Okay. So we're maximizing on that. And I do think we can defeat the Hellbilly, so let's go ahead there. We can kind of see our build in action here. The yellow mantis hasting 2 items for 1 second is pretty nice. Really, again, we're just trying to monitor lizard. The problem with a poison build is because it takes a long time for that damage to go off, you generally want some sort of survivability on board. And to do that, we're not doing a great job of that right now. First Aiden is kind of the best option that we have for survivability. Slowing is pretty good, but we want to recoup HP generally speaking. Okay, we get a diamond tier scrap, that could be pretty good. And now we see Kina, that could have more of our friends. Sure, let's go there. Okay, there's a SATCOM upgrade, I do like that. And here's a green wasp upgrade. Seems pretty nice. Now, do we want anything else? I think we're good on that. Let's look at these silver tier skills. First time you use a large item, each fight shield equal to 10% of your max health. So we do have this pylon, so kind of nice. You have exactly 1 weapon, has cooldown reduction. I don't love these skills. I'm kind of inclined to re-roll them, but I'd have to sell off this scrap to do so. And 24 shield is pretty big game. I think I'm willing to just take the reserve shield here. I don't really want to sell off that scrap yet if I don't have to, and you know, I see bark in here, and now I'm inclined to sell off that scrap a little bit more. Okay, solar farm. Solar farm is pretty good. It's kind of better than pylon in a lot of ways, and they do very similar things. But solar farm gaining regen is pretty nice, and it itself provides haste, so you don't have to have a separate synergy for it. Being said, you would need burn synergy. Okay, well, let me sell this scrap here and let me sell the thurible. I don't love not getting value from that diamond tier scrap, but I think when I see bark on here, I might as well just get this +1 value. We don't even know if we're going to be having room for shielding on our board. There's something like Brick Buddy that we could utilize, but I think right now rather be doing kind of what we're already doing. We really do need that fire bug, and I'm not really willing to play the blue beetle right now. Freezing one item for 0.5 seconds is just not that good. Okay. Do I want to spend 4? Again, I really want small items or DJ Robot, and Barkin could have DJ Robot, so I guess for that, I will reroll. We see Armadillo, but let's just take the Power Gel upgrade. A lot of these Friends builds will eventually lead into having the Power Gel on board, so let's go with that. Okay, we're against a Vanessa here. Vanessa makes me think that we want to get the game over with as fast as possible, and thus the Monitor Lizard is not going to be the best way to do that necessarily. Putting the Power Gel in instead of the Monitor Lizard could be a consideration, just because the Monitor Lizard itself is going off so slowly, and I think I will do that. This is going to be less damage overall, but again, against a Vanessa, they have ways to just burst you down, so if we can try and burst them down before they do that to us, that's ideally where I want to be. And as you can see here, they gotta have a Katana Switchblade start, so this was gonna be close, I think, even though there's Katana scaling pretty well. Yeah, that thing is doing so much damage. But we could see pretty clearly there that the Monitor Lizard was also not going to be helping us out very much in that fight. Okay. Well, we have a lot of good things going for us regardless. And let's see, we got Charcoal. When you use another friend, this gains 2 burn. Okay. It's not bad. We can put this Monitor Lizard back on board. Let's see our options. Getting 3 silver tier chocolate sounds pretty nice. Do we want charcoal? I don't think we do, so I'm willing to sell the charcoal. Let's just take this free value in the silver tier chocolates. Now we can go to Block Party and guarantee get a friend. Yeah, I'm willing to do that. I'm kind of low on money. There's Chris Army Knife. Alright, what's up? Okay, I think we can beat the Gorgon Noble here. I guess we can also just look at them to make sure. So let's go to the Gorgon Noble. Day 5. So they do have a good amount of regeneration, which is actually pretty scary for a poison build. So that way it makes me feel a little less inclined to fight them. You know, this Rocket Trooper does have the cloak that can haste items. I think I'd like to do that. If we get the cloak, we could also put the Power Gel on board, and every time the Power Gel goes off, it's kind of helping to proc itself, which I like. Being that it's in a gold shield shadow cloak as well, I think that could be pretty good too. And rocket boots would be nice as well. Could even put that on the pylon. Probably would want to put it on Yellow Mantis though. So yeah, this Rocket Trooper has some good things for us. Let's see what they have. Okay, rocket boots. I think I will be putting that on the Yellow Mantis. House Party could get a small friend, or we could maybe look at a bunch of small friends, so let's go to Andy. These are not small friends, but okay, this was second shot at it. And nice. Here is the Red Firefly. I do like the Red Firefly. So yeah, let's put rocket boots on the mantis. This haste 2 items for 2 seconds. Let's go ahead and take the red firefly. And yeah, gold bomb squad might be good. Could try and facilitate it on our board like so. I don't think that's horrible. We are losing a considerable amount of haste pylon just because it's the black spider saw it a bunch, but we are introducing first aid in on board. That's still going to synergize well with the bomb squad. That being said, maybe want to do this. I think that might make more sense actually, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, let's take the bomb squad. We could put the blue beetle on board, but I think because we have the monitor lizard, it makes some sense to try and maximize off this synergy here. So let's keep it like that. And don't think we want an arc blaster. All right, we could get 18 gold. I don't think getting 2 gold and a silver tier loot is better than that. Let's take 18 gold. Pretty nice get for us. And then here, let's look at Sylvia. Can maybe find some upgrades to our friends. And right away, we get to upgrade to a red firefly. Very nice. Now, I will reroll here. We just got a bunch of money, so there's a lot of upside. And ooh, this is interesting. So because the SATCOM generated this blue beetle, getting a blue beetle from the store itself was still an option in our pool. So I can take the blue beetle here at silver and also have one at bronze. That being said, it's not that powerful. I think we would rather have one of the other bugs on the board if that was the case. But I'm still going to take the upgrade here just because that's kind of the synergy that we want. So, all of this said, I'm thinking, especially seeing another Vanessa here, do we take the monitor lizard off board, run the full friends, and then hopefully our power gel gets there? I could even run the other blue beetle. I think I'm willing to do that. Now, I imagine just having some amount of freeze is probably better than this Chris Army knife too. So I will sell that off. And yeah, let's fight this Vanessa.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
Looks like they have a bunch of weapons, and we do have a level on them, so that's nice. Okay, they're another burst build here, and wow, they have a shiny sextant, so this calico and is going to be guaranteed critting, and this katana probably is too. So we're going to need to go a little faster here. Okay, wow. We got pretty lucky there. You can see that they bursted us really, really quickly, and we probably would have been dead if not for first aid. Yeah, definitely so. Luckily, their calico was being buffed by honing steel, but honing steel only went off twice. If it went off another time, that'd been bad. Yeah, they have a pretty strong board. They don't have a lot of sustained bursts, so the fact that we had a level above them is definitely the reason why we won that fight, but still pretty scary indeed. I think also putting the blue beetle on board was pretty nice for us too. Wow, Dragon Whelp. This is a very, very, very powerful friend. If we can find a way to put more damage on the Dragon Whelp, I think that could be incredible. We don't really have a way to buff damage right now, but burning equal to this item's damage, that claws in general, can do some really insane things. Okay. That being said, I'm going to have an Indala here, and I'm going to see if I can turn this pylon into something cool. Crane. When you use an adjacent large item or when you use an adjacent medium item. Okay, not really what I wanted, kind of the opposite, in fact. And let's put our bugs back on board. So I'll sell that off. I don't need to do that just yet. We could look at weapons. Maybe like a drill upgrade would be nice. Again, DJ Robot I think is the thing that I really want to get here. So I'm willing to pass on this. The Mountain Pass also just has some really good option for us. locking in some income would be good. Also, going and winning a fight and maybe being able to be like 2 levels ahead or 1 level ahead of our opponent would be pretty good. All that said, I do think I just want to invest in some income. Yeah, we'll invest in income. We know we have a good amount of days more that we want to be able to fight. And okay, Loan Shark certainly is generally what you would take here in terms of a fight, but the Dire Inglet has a really good skill that will synergize well for us if we can get it. They have this aggressive skill. Oh wait, they've changed the skill? Oh wait, am I thinking of a different thing? No, I'm second guessing myself here. I guess they may have changed the skill. Okay, aggressive. When you use a weapon, it gains +4 crit chance for the fight. That's also pretty good, honestly. I was remembering them to have Diamond Fangs that have cooldown reduction equal to the... Oh, I'm thinking of, I guess, a Sabertooth. This is what I was thinking of. Alright. Well, I think then let's just go ahead and fight the Loan Shark. Yeah, if we got a cooldown reduction skill, that Fang skill for the Sabertooth says that your small items that are diamond tier have 30% cooldown reduction, and having a bunch of small items is the exact thing that we are doing right now. So, and you know, this is getting pretty scary here. We're gonna definitely be relying on this freeze. And okay, we survived the shark ray. Man, we could have actually died there. I didn't think we were in that much of the red, but I guess we were. Okay, ATM. Nice. Well, I'll sell the crane now so that I can make space for the ATM, get some more income. Feels pretty good. Okay, upgrade a silver or lower tier item. I like putting it on the black spider or the blue beetle. That being said, the Satcom might be the best. I do want to look at a dragon whelp upgrade. So let's look at the dragon whelp. Dragon whelp. So it has a lower cooldown by 1. We're not necessarily even having it on board right now, so I'm not sure that we need to do that. I think it's probably Blue Beetle, Black Spider, or Satcom. Could also put our power drill up in terms of damage. Let's just double check that, why not? Yeah, it just gains 25 more damage, which is good. Don't get me wrong, that is good, but I think I want to go and upgrade our Satcom. This, at the very least, will just be giving us gold tier items to sell, and that could be powerful in its own right. Alright. Now we have the option of getting some chocolates or getting some medium items. Medium items could be DJ robots, so let's do it. There's Z-Sword, Brick Buddy at gold. Doesn't synergize with Power Drill, unfortunately. Chem Snail does synergize with Blue Beetle. We could take maybe the Bomb Squad off to facilitate that. I don't love that. Let's roll. There is the robot. Wonderful. So let's sell this ATM. Let's get this DJ robot. And I think I'm gonna do it like this. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay. So I think this will be pretty powerful. Notably, DJ Robot would be really good with our Monitor Lizard, but I think we're just in full Power Drill territory here. Every time these friends go off, it's going to haste, or it's going to reduce the cooldown of our DJ Robot, and I think that's going to be pretty good for us. Could also put Nanobots on board. That is a decent amount of damage, but I think Power Drill is going to be even more powerful. There's also Ballista here, which certainly synergizes with DJ Robot, but I think overall the Power Drill is going to be more damage and go off quicker. So we can leave this encounter. Okay, there's JJ. And we have a lot of money here, so I am going to go Aerodrome. Getting something like a skill vendor would be nice. Oh, friend vendor too. Sounds very good for us. Okay, Blue Beetle upgrade. Take that. Bulldozer's cool, but not really what we're doing. Let's I mean, it is what we're doing in the sense that we have friends, but I think we don't need the cooldown reduction, and our board is looking really, really strong. So let's reroll here. DJ robot upgrade, monitor lizard upgrade. So let's sell this bronze blue beetle because we're about to get another one of the nanobots. And do we want the monitor lizard upgrade? I think we're kind of off monitor lizard now. That being said, it is an 8 gold investment, and if I sold it back, I'd be like -4 gold overall. So there's worse ways to spend gold, surely. Yeah, I really don't think we're gonna be stacking this monitor lizard. Unless we get some crazy poison charge skill or something like that. So, because of that, I'm gonna sell off this bomb. Nah. Yeah, we don't need to buy the monitor lizard right now. But we will need to make space for our SATCOM. So yeah, let's sell this bomb squad and let's fight this other Dooley. I wouldn't be surprised if this Dooley had a very similar build to us. I feel like the Dooley build we're doing right now is kind of the bread and butter thing for Dooleys. And yep, pretty much not identical by any stretch, but they're certainly doing something very similar. We do have 2 yellow mantis, which is a lot of yellow mantis. And wow, they're putting on, or they're just using this power drill a ton here. And maybe it's because of this battery? Well, I guess it's probably because of Yellow Mantis. I want to look at their board real quick. So, okay, our power drill went off more, but their power drill is just a bit bigger. So I guess that was the real difference maker. And yeah, we're doing very similar numbers. Okay. And their difference was also 30 burn and charging up their power drill. Yeah, I think our board was a bit stronger, but we also had lower health. And our power drill is only silver tier. So, things to keep in mind. We had that option to upgrade the power drill and we didn't. And hey, Mr. Richardson, when you haste or slow, this gains +10 shields. That could be better than the first Aiden. And it might very well be. It's not hasting, but it could just be a really big source of damage. Or of shielding. So I'm going to try that for our next fight. And okay, now let's go to JJ, see if we can find some upgrades. These are not really upgrades. I do like Isocorp Freezer, but don't think we need it right now. And medium items could upgrade our power drill. The Mountain Pass is probably best option. There's also Dianosaur. We do have a good source of hasting. But I think I know what I'm looking for, and that is right there in the power drill. Okay. Let's see what our fights are. Chili Charles. Sure, I think we can defeat Chili Charles. Chili Charles is going to be doing a lot of healing and freezing, but they're not going to be doing a lot of damage in any capacity to us, so once our damage goes off, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot. Yeah, we can see that this Mr. Richardson is getting pretty big. So, we see another Dooley. I think I would definitely like to have Mr. Richardson on board. Board means our board's going off just a little bit slower. But this is a ton of shielding. That looked pretty good. Gold tier Mr. Richardson at that. What do we get here? When you freeze, your items gain +3 crit chance. Nice. Okay, we are freezing, so sounds good to me. And let's look at some gold tier skills. I think crit chance skills could be very good too, but we also could just put more crit 24 on the power drill. Yeah, let's just do that. There's this, we could reroll there too, but I don't think we need to do that. And let's see, large items. You could find like Dualtron, which could be even more powerful than what we're doing right now. There's also just gaining more max HP. Yeah, I'm willing to gain more max HP. I think Dualtron would be very good, but not necessarily needed currently. And we don't really need the money right now. Scrap, not really either, so let's go to Kina and look at some non-weapons. Nice black spider upgrade. So almost all our friends are at gold, besides our mantis. And Z Shield, Brick Buddy. No. Okay. Alright, we're gonna need to make space. I guess I'll sell off this nanobots. I generally don't like selling off items that are not selling for any value, because 0 is way worse than selling for 1. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So let's fight this mech.
Why must we do this? Death laughs at us both.
And let's see, they have a library, which, so your non-weapon, all weapons have an increased cooldown, which does matter for a power drill. And then they're trying to calcinator and retort. So they have a pretty good amount of burn with the calcinator. But the shielding that we put on Mr. Richardson's gonna be good. They did start. Oh man, they used Bottle Tornado, which started the sandstorm. But once our build started picking up steam, we were able to get there. That was very, very close though. Okay, so what do we get from Satcom? Washawali Bird. I love this item. It's not good here, but I love that item. Okay. And I would really like to get chocolates, but I think on theme here, we know we want to get these small friends upgraded. Just like so. So let's keep doing that. And battery is very, very strong. But I think we're okay with that. And there's Kina. Could get a haste item. Let's go to Kina. Nice diamond firefly. Feels good. And there's motherboard. Not really what I want. Okay. Alright, so we're really picking up these friends here. I think we can defeat Bouncertron. Let's do that. Bouncertron has this: when you use a weapon, adjacent items gain 8 crit chance, so could maybe find a way to make that work. Really, we're just maximizing here on the XP, and that's my goal. When we're ahead, we want to stay ahead. And, you know, we would be missing out on maybe 1 XP if we went to the other fights, but again, just maximizing, trying to hit level 10 as fast as possible would be very good for us. Okay, there's Gatling gun. So I'll sell off this bird. Sell off the nanobots. I'll take the Gatling gun. Okay, let's take a silver tier loot. We'll sell off the Gatling gun. Don't think that's being in our build. Regeneration? Okay. Alright, so we have the option of going to Midsworth, which could have small items for us. But the Shrouded Figure could also, in theory, if we high roll, allow us to level up here. We'd have to get the maximum amount of XP. So we're going to guarantee get 1, and then we are 6 away. So yeah, we'll see what they give us. Okay, unfortunately we didn't get what we needed, but the Monster Ranch could give us what we need. Okay, the Monster Ranch did not have the XP, but it does have an insect wing. I think I like that on our power drill. Getting 4% across the board cooldown reduction is also very good, but I think our power drill is our main source of damage, and having that go off as fast as possible is good. Okay, now we're fighting Mac. So let's see what this Mac has. It looks like they've done a lot of losing thus far. And they've only won 1 fight. They have deadly vat of acid. They have a dishwasher. Haste your tools. This vat of acid is a tool. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna hope to freeze it as much as possible, which we are doing a very good job at. This gold blue beetle, very impressive. And yeah, our power drill gets us there. It's a very nice use of the dishwasher, giving all these different types to the vat of acid. There's so many different synergies that you could have alongside it, and thus dishwasher giving it haste for 3 seconds is pretty good. Sword cane, probably not what they want to be running, but it looks like they may have gone down to the last prestige and just Maybe put a random enchant on this deadly out of acid, and they got that crit chance. Okay. And okay, so slow is not really what we wanted for this power drill. We would much rather have freeze, haste, burn, poison. But it slow still does proc it. And let's see, how many items does it slow? It slows one item for 2 seconds. I do think it could be worth it to put a random enchant on it. If it gets radiant, that's fine. Crit chance is fine. Shiny's fine. Obsidian. I guess I wouldn't really want shielded or restorative, but those would still be fine too. Yeah, I'm willing to risk it. I think slow is okay, but there are just so many other better enchants. And we get fiery. Nice. So now with the fiery, we could even move around our bugs a little bit if we thought that would be good. So who cares about fire? The Elementus does. Yeah, that seems pretty nice. And I guess so does Black Spider. But this will chain everything off a little bit more effectively. That being said, we do lose the crit chance on this. So can we put our bugs in reverse and it still work? I believe we can. So yeah, this cares about burn, here's a burn. This cares about haste and slow, here's haste and slow. Poison, burn, and then this cares about freeze or slow, and this cares about poison. Yeah, it just aesthetically looks unpleasing, but it is what it is. And now here's another interesting decision. We can go back to the shrouded figure. First, let's check on this. Ooh, okay. Got another green wasp. It's not the one that we want. I guess I don't know which one we would necessarily want more. I don't want to replace Mr. Richardson. I think this is still pretty good. Notably, the power drill would have charged Richardson a lot if we did have that slow enchant, but I think burn is just better. Getting upgrades to our bugs is definitely good. Yeah, let's keep trying to upgrade our bugs. Let's take every opportunity to do so. None of these are bug upgrades. These are bug upgrades. Okay. Sometimes you roll the dice and they don't come up the way you want. That's okay. And 10 regeneration is a permanent effect versus Jules Cafe, which I would want to just put 25 damage on the power drill. Yeah, because we're day 9 here, we're getting into the later game. I think I just want to buff the power drill. Do we defeat Death Knight Reaper? I believe we do. Let's fight them. This blue beetle, just going off as much as possible, I think allows us to do so. Freezing their items is pretty good, although they do have this Desperate Cleanse skill. And you know, I'm even thinking a Sapphire could be pretty nice for us, but we'll see. Yeah, this power drill is putting on a ton of burn. It feels pretty good. They don't even get a single one of their items off. Maybe they're Sapphire and they're Mortal Coil, but we don't care about those. What do we get? Mortal Coil. So we could give the power drill lifesteal. I'll take it. And guess we're probably not utilizing the monitor lizard, so let's take that. And now there's burn skills or Dooley skills. Dooley skills can have a friend synergy skill, which would be nice, but we are burning a lot, and I think that there is like something that's like this. When you use an item with burn, that item gains +1 burn. Or when you use a friend, burn 2. Ooh, that could be even better. I think that could be very good. Yeah, let's do that. We're utilizing our friends so much that I think that makes the most sense. Also, why is this dungeon big? When did that happen? When did you get damage? Oh, right, because we went to Jules Cafe. And it's a weapon. Okay. Losing my mind for a second. Maybe more than a second, but that's just how I roll. Okay. JJ, let's see what you got. Plasma rifle is maybe insane here. I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna run it just yet, but I am gonna buy it. I don't know that it's better than DJ Robot, but I also don't want to try that on, gosh, flamethrower too. It's really good. Yeah, those are very good items, but we don't have any way to scale damage on the flamethrower, so I'll keep moving and just do a little bit as I go. And I do think we'd want chocolate bars. I am willing to sell the Mortal Coil and probably the Dragon Whelp at this point. We could also get a shielded upgrade for one of our friends. We would be investing 10 gold in selling off one of these items that we wouldn't want to sell off to facilitate getting all the chocolate bars, so I guess I am willing to high roll. We could get a small friend and maybe that would be an upgrade. But let's try and high roll. Kev's Armory sells health and shield items, and as we can see here, sometimes they're enchanted with the shield or health property. So there is some ability for us to upgrade one of our friends with that shield clause. That doesn't look like what we're getting here. Okay, it's okay. Alright, let's fight another Dooley. Yeah, that plasma rifle, I do want to try, but I'm not going to try it just yet. I think with this fiery hug skill, it could be very good. And they have a Mamasaur, yikes, okay. An atomic clock. What do we want to see? Man, they kill our DJ robot. Okay, not good. But we don't need the DJ robot. We're putting a lot of burn on them, and the Mamasaur is not that big, so yeah, we just do lots of burn, lots of damage, and we can see that we're putting on a ton of burn there. Okay. Got a day 10 here. Let's see what we got. Okay, Walter Cooler. Alright. Welcome, my friend. Like your new shiny art from Alternate Skin. Let's go to Kena here and continue our hunt for upgrades. Anti-matter chamber destroys through this and 3 small items on the enemy board. That's good, but I think we're doing just fine without it. And not really upgrades that we want. Do we want to transform something? Not really. Let's see, maybe we can find a power drill upgrade. Race Carl is very good. We'd be having to replace maybe Richardson and something else with the Race Carl because their DJ robot's facilitating it. I don't think that the Race Carl is more powerful than the Fiery Drill, so I'll skip it for now. Wow, Obsidian Armadillo does double damage. Clarence is also pretty good. Clarence is very similar to our plasma rifle now that I think about it. But plasma rifle is also synergizing the power drill. Yeah, it doesn't. If the power drill's barely making the board, then I'm not sure the Race Carl is. Okay, here's Volcus Enforcer. Volcus Enforcer does have freeze skills. Let's look at that. I'm just not sure that we can defeat them. So they do have the first 3 times you shield each fight freeze, and then when you freeze, your items gain +3 crit chance. So I guess that's at gold. And we have it at gold too. First 3 times you shield each fight freeze 1 item. We have no shielding. I'm not even sure that we can defeat them. Frankly, I think we can. You know, maybe that's a for science moment, we go for it. But what I think I really want to do is just do a little experiment with this plasma rifle. And just because I'm unsure of how effective this is going to be, I do want to just see it in action and test it out. Volcus Enforcer is going to freeze our item, so I don't really want to test it there. Yeah. I think I like the DJ robot better. The DJ robot hasting all our items makes sense to me here more than this plasma rifle. So I will sell that, put the robot back, get ectoplasm. And wow, another golden bonds. 18 gold for each friend. Loot could be very good, but I think just locking in the gold makes the most sense. And now medium items could have upgrades to our robot. And power gel cinders is also not bad. Gumballs could be crit chance. Yeah, let's go for medium items. We have so much gold. Okay, again, flamethrower, chrono barrier also good, but not for us. And atomic clock, cybersecurity, yeah.
See that mountain? That's
These are good items, but not the ones that we're looking for. And then we could go to Quixel. I do kind of just like taking the max HP here. 240 damage at this, or 240 health at this point represents maybe like one shot from one item. That is significant. There's also Jules Cafe. I'll just go and take the 240 max HP. I think that could make the difference in this next fight, especially seeing it that it's a Vanessa. This makes sense to me.
I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Okay, let's see what they got. Looks like a one weapon like Shen build. So our blue beetle and our spider are gonna have to do a lot of work here. This is gonna guarantee crit, so when it goes off, we die. Okay.
Strength is a sword.
Well, sometimes that's just how it goes. Alright. Let's see. Enchantment. Restorative. Restorative Mr. Richardson could be good. That being said, Black Spider. I do kind of want to just look at these, so let's look at Spider. Yeah, not the best. Red Firefly could be restorative. Is it red? RED. Firefly? There we go. Yeah, equal to 10 times this item's burn. We're not scaling our burn. DJ Robot. So, Keel's 150. Having multicast, freeze. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do here, and what I am going to do, is I'm going to go ahead and enchant the DJ Robot, because there's a lot of different good enchantments we could get. And Shielded was not really one of them, but just putting more survivability on our board does make sense to me too. Okay. Now we got Venomander. Don't really want a Venomander, but welcome. And let's look at some non-weapons. Wow. Robotic Factory. I think that could be pretty crazy. I think that's gonna be really good. This looks very good to me. Yeah. It's gonna really make our power drill go crazy. Oh wow, and a metronome? Hold up. Okay. Oh, metronome we know is very good with the power drill. So when the power drill goes off, it's gonna charge itself twice essentially. So it's gonna also be hasting a thing. Is it better than Yellow Mantis? We'll see. Here's gumballs. Let's just fish again for the medium item.
No sale. I want what's right for you.
It's probably safest, we didn't get it, but it's probably safest to go to gumballs and introduce more crit chance on our board. And I know that this Yellow Mantis is good. But yeah, I was going to say I could put the metronome here, but truly I think these items just going off twice, as many friends as we can, is going to be insane. So I think the Yellow Mantis is going to be better than metronome. Let's fight the Lord of the Wastes and see how it looks. Be nice also if we had something that kind of got the build hasted at the beginning of the fight. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I'd say that's pretty good. Okay. If only we had a freezing power drill, then that'd be even better. Foreboding Winds. I think that makes sense for us too. Okay. This might actually come to bite us now that I think about it, because But introducing crit chance on our board I think is not bad. We're going to be freezing and stalling them a lot. We'll see. But we are also just going to be giving our opponent a lot of crit chance. What is a robotics factory? Click. Robotics factory. 20 crit chance. Okay. Maybe it's the power drill. I think actually maybe it's Blue Beetle. Now at this point we want to be freezing as many items as possible. So I think that is good. And I am going to go ahead and just get the temporary damage upgrade. And I don't think we want anything from another hero, but Artisan Dunes, just putting more damage on our power drill seems nice. Let's not forget to sell the Venomander. And okay, let's fight this Dooley. Again, I imagine they have a pretty similar build to us, but we'll see whose is better. Nitrogen hammer. Okay, so they have some freeze. Yeah. Wow, they have an incredibly similar build to us. Alright. Yikes. Okay, their build was just crazy. Alright. Sometimes it goes like that. So, they had this toxic nitrogen hammer. This is when you freeze, charge this one. They had a blue beetle that was going off pretty quickly. They also had fiber optics, which was charging their hammer and charging their beetle. So, yeah, their build was just very, very strong. If our build had actually gone off, it could have kept up with them, but especially because we had a little bit more HP than them. But also this Obsidian Robotics Factory dealing 50 damage. They just had better upgrades for their board compared to what we were doing. But that's okay. I think our build was kind of like the prototypical thing you want to be doing with the bugs. Even if it didn't get there and only got to, what is this, 6 wins, this is still sort of the thing that dualies are doing right now. Getting all their bugs to go off as much as possible, and getting like a power drill is like pretty bread and butter way to climb right now on Dooley. And additionally, it's just like a pretty consistent build as we saw. There's so many opportunities where we can look at small items or look specifically at friends and things of this nature, or non-weapon items. We can like upgrade them rather consistently. Even something like a SATCOM really helps. So yeah, I feel like that was I don't think we played that incorrectly, I should say. I think we just kind of got matched up with some tough fights, and it was what it was. There may have been some synergies that we missed out from a lack of imagination, but overall, I think that playing the dually right now, where you're just getting all the bugs in order and then you are stacking up with a power drill, makes sense. But with that, I thank you for joining me here today. I have been the Bazaar Whisper, and this has been the Bazaar Over-Explained. I really appreciate you being here, and we have many more videos like this if you want to find some more guides on different characters and how to play them, especially in this new patch. A lot of fun stuff out there, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.